Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to have Reem here as our fourth founder spotlight. And she is going to be talking a lot more about her business. And so I'm just going to let you start off and introduce yourself and talk more about, the name of your business, how you got started, and everything like that.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Reem Khan. I'm 16 years old and I started my business 17 Degrees with my sisters in back in 2019, right before the pandemic. So we're kind of we've always liked to do something entrepreneurial, no matter what it is, and something innovative. So we've always had an interest in, designing and creating stuff on our iPad, things like that. So we thought it's so cool, like, how people decorate their laptops with stickers and things like that. And we're like, hey, like, why don't we make it ourselves? Why would we like go and hey, like, I wish this existed, or I wish I could have this sticker. And we thought that it'd be a perfect way to like kind of channel our creativity into our combining it with the intersection of like entrepreneurship, which is something we're always interested in. So since then we've evolved a lot. We started off as Rare Designs and now we became 17 Degrees. We actually named it that because everybody in our family is born on the 17th. So that's just like a fun little perk, I guess. But it's really been interesting to, go through the different steps of it. We started off with our own website. And so the problem with that was the getting people to come, the marketing aspect of it. So there wasn't too much traffic. We had like, our friends, our community, but we wanted to escalate it more on like a bigger level. So we used Instagram and TikTok to do that, but eventually we heard a lot about Etsy. So we did transfer to Etsy as I think it's a great platform to start out your business. And we got lots of sales on that. Our business like went way up. And that's what led us to actually like increase our quality, from that kind of money like that barely funding kind of thing. We got to invest that back into our business, get higher quality stickers, and now we've been kind of taking a break to revamp our thing. So we're going into clothing, stickers, hats, things like that, and kind of just using it as a way to spread a message of positivity in a way and a community. So it's been really fun.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. That's cool that you got to start it before COVID because I feel like a lot of people, even myself, started business during COVID. And so
Yeah.
you got to really see the before and after instead
Yeah.
of, doing it during. So I think that must have been a really cool experience to see at such a young age. I guess I'm curious to know, like, how was that difference for you? Did you see a huge difference before and after COVID, or were you like literally right before COVID where you weren't able to see a huge change?
I think we started like a couple of months before COVID, like, or I think we might have started like around May of 2019, I think. And so we had that time to kind of, see the difference and everything. I think before COVID, it was definitely like finding that balance, like schoolwork, going to school, everything like that, and balancing the stickers thing. But it was also kind of a great way to market to other people. Like you're seeing other people all the time. So like, I put my stickers on like my laptop, my phone, like water bottle, things like that. And it's like a great way, like, oh, like that's a really cool sticker. Where'd you get it from kind of thing. So like I think that branding and like personal touch, like kind of thing can't go away ever. It's like that's the best way. Then during COVID, I think it did really help us with our brand because we had a lot more time to, put our effort into that and we were really bored like everyone. So it's kind of like another like hobby to like, try to see what we could do with it, how we could be creative. So that was a lot of fun and I think it really allowed us to grow and develop and like experience different ways. Like that's when we started doing Etsy. And when we got like, I think I remember when we started getting international orders, like our first couple of international orders, we like so happy and ecstatic. And like we posted on our Instagram, like, oh, like shipping to Australia or things like that. So it was really fun. Especially I think a lot of businesses, especially like because of COVID, like how TikTok blew up kind of thing. So seeing that like marketing kind of thing play into it, going off like those trends, like oh like this is trending, let's make something out of that. So it's like really cool experience, especially now than going back out of COVID, seeing how things change. So it's
Oh
been
yeah,
fun.
that is so cool. Oh my gosh. That's so exciting whenever you got to see that international order. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's just so impressive. I think a lot of people don't realize that with a lot of companies that are more of I guess like customer wholesale where you're really like making those products yourself, there's so much that needs to go into it, like with details.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a lot more familiar with tech companies, so things that aren't actual tangible products. And so it's just a whole new world. And how does that how's that process work for like manufacturing wise? Do you guys do that all at home or like do you have vendors? I'm not really sure. Like I don't know a lot about the sticker market and all of the physical tangible products like that.
Yeah, of course. So we started off like when we first started, it was completely like in our own hands, like our own. So like we would order sticker paper. Like the first step was like, okay, like how do I make a sticker? You know, like you have to look at the other things. So we literally just buy sticker paper off of Amazon, and then we always had like Procreate to like draw on. So like that was the very early stages. We draw little designs and then we print it out at our home, like in our own like printer and everything. And I think we probably use like all of the ink of our printer. So eventually we're like, okay, that's probably not the best idea and we can't get the most quality of it. But that was kind of like the early rare designs phase, what we did. So seeing that where we would print it out at home and then I would like cut it hand by hand. Or like, oh, like that's a little messy, that's a little, everything. Then we transferred to as we grew bigger, we decided to start printing it at UPS. They allowed you to print it there, and we are like, wow, this quality is so much better. They can like this is so much easier. We were wasting so much time before. And even from there, we grew even more to getting our own vendor, Sticker Mule, and we're still like exploring that different vendors still right now. But that's the latest one that we did use, and we're like, this is like they pre-cut it for you too, so like a lot of less labor and time for us that and better quality as you shift and grow. But one thing I think that we always do is like personalized like thank you notes. And I think that goes a long way. I remember like I do not have the best handwriting like at all. So I would like write the thank you notes, like I'd have it like know what I want to say. But I would literally like early on stages, like I'd take a ruler and I'd like go like writing each line and I have to mess up again and again. And but I think that's something that we're never gonna change, like having those personalized thank you notes, like, hey, we even like experience like changing like the kind of personalizing them to the sticker or something else that we did. Sorry, this is kind of going on a tangent, I guess, but
So good.
we my handwriting did get better from that, like, trying again and again. But I think always making the customer feel special in that way. So we'd always like throw in like little free stickers, like extra stickers to like get that interest and everything like that. And I think it's a great way. Like now we got like these nice envelopes and we have like our little business thing and the address, like a nice little stamp over there and everything like that. So it's really cool. And I think it's so important to keep those personalized touches and like especially when you have like these tangible items and we are like trying to grow to eventually hoping the level that get a warehouse, things like that where we need that level, but right now we're still on the early stages, so it's pretty cool to be like a very direct contact with the customers.
I love that a lot. I think on a consumer standpoint, I definitely agree. I love going on Etsy and I love supporting all the small businesses on there. And I feel like I always feel a lot happier whenever there's a personalized thank you note, just because
Yeah.
it makes me want to buy more. I'm like, you're so sweet. You're taking the time out of your day to not only give me a product, but also to give me a personalized note. And like you said, extra stickers too. Sometimes they will do that as well. And I think it just goes a long way. And I know some bigger businesses do that too. Like I'm not sure if you've heard of Every Jewels. It's like pretty popular.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and they still do that. I still get like extra little stickers from them, even though they've grown to be a big business. And I think it's just a super sweet touch.
Mhm.
And I mean, you were in seventh grade, so what made you realize that early on that that was something that you wanted to do?
I think that like always like I've always had like kind of wanting to like kind of a way to connect with people. Like, like if I see someone like I'll go talk to them, kind of like more extroverted kind of way. So I was like how can we make our business like kind of something more special? Like, okay, like why would you buy stickers from us, right? Like we're a small business, like, I want to support a small business, but how can we also like, get them to, refer you to friends or things like that. So I think it was always important to establish contacts with those customers. And I think one big thing was that like dealing with like bad reviews too, because we had bad reviews. Like we had plenty of good ones, and we had a few bad reviews. And I think early on, like when like you're in seventh grade and everything, and like you get a bad review, you're like, like you're like what like that kind of hurts a little bit like with like your first business and everything. I remember someone literally like left a review and like they it was like a this was like early on like rare designs kind of level and they sent a picture of a sticker and they had like beheaded the Spider-Man and like they cut the head off and they were like, I don't know how to peel this or something like that. And it's like, this isn't sticker paper or something like that. And I remember being like, what? So I
I'm
think that was kind of like, yeah,
traumatized.
yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
I was like borderline tears because I was like, that's a little creepy, right? Like,
No, that's
and
like weird.
weird, right? And like they said a bunch of weird stuff too. So I think but, you always have to take insight from the bad reviews. Like maybe, there's always ways to improve. So we started doing like little slits on the back of our stickers kind of thing. So yeah. The question was how to stay connected. So I think, just dealing how to, respond to those customers and how to like create that good connection or even how to like revive like bad connections or whatever. So it's like very interesting process to deal with. And like I've definitely learned so much from it as a person, how rude people are, but also like, how to make someone feel special too.
No, that's actually really, really true. I've actually seen a lot of these small businesses, like if you go on any social media, like Instagram or TikTok, I know they let you like reply to comments and people will respond to hate comments and then be like, well, we revamped that for you. So I think that just
Yeah,
goes to show that they're not only watching their target market, but they're also watching their targeted haters and they're trying to find
exactly.
ways to improve. And I think that's just the coolest thing in the world because, like I said, I'm not really that familiar with businesses where there's tangible products where you're really interacting with the consumer. And I feel like that's just something that people don't really think about. It's very underrated, like how much
Yeah.
to understand and how much you have to communicate with a
Mhm.
company. And it's just a huge thing. I guess tying along with that, pretty similar question, but what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned from starting a business outside of, what you've discussed already?
Yes, so I think that one of the biggest lessons would just like keep on trying kind of thing. Like, it's probably not going to be like your business is not going to blow up in one day and it's not going to be like something that's going to like everyone's going to love. There's going to be people who don't like it. There's going to be people who it's not really for them. So I think that just having like grit is so important because trying ways instead of like I could have just given up. Like me and my sisters like we tried weird designs. It was like quality, like just starting off, maybe people liked it. We had a few customers, but I could have just quit. It was like a seventh grade hobby, okay? But like just having that, that ability to try again, reset and, even like going back is so important to just like find different ways and find the problem. Like there's always going to be ways that you can do better. And I think that's something that's like, it's really important to be open-minded to like new opportunities and things like that. So it's been a great lesson that I still use in everyday life.
That is so true, especially as a little kid. I feel like we all had hobbies that we had commitment issues with.
Yeah,
Like
for
I did
sure.
any of the same things that I did in seventh grade, and it's just hard to keep things up from such a young age and keep on going. But I also think it's really cool, like to say that you started something at 12 and you're still doing it and still
Mhm.
succeeding in it. That's just such a flex, and like
Yeah.
going on throughout high school and just knowing that you have that. But I also probably would be really busy, I bet, managing high school with your business. So how do you try to balance that to the best of your ability? I know it's hard, but you're in a lot and you're still doing great. So I'm curious.
Yeah, 100%. I think like with everything, like you always have to be careful with like, a little bit of too much is like kind of tough to handle. So we definitely have taken like a few breaks when we had to like think like, when it's like really busy or something, we have to take a moment to think, okay, like what can we do to kind of make this easier and simplify the task. Sorry. And so with me and my sisters, we all had like our own kind of job kind of thing. And I think that we take more like a certain like time of the week, like maybe the weekend to work on orders. And so we had to like Rania, my sister, she would be more in the design process. How are ways that we can design you stickers, getting all those ideas. And then also she was very big on like social media marketing. So she'd be more in charge of that. And I would be more in charge of, like getting the products and then putting them together, shipping them, listing the products, communicating with customers and reviews. And I think there's like a lot of times that I've wanted to quit it because I'm like, this is just a seventh grade hobby. Like, what is this doing for me? Nothing. But I think having that passion is what really like benefited me. So like when you're doing something that you do love and something that you do have an interest in, it's like you can make time for it kind of thing. And I've always had like that boundary where like, I'll do my schoolwork from this certain time, like a couple hours after school, and then the rest will be like my free time. And it's something I enjoy. So it's been really easy, not easy, but it's been really fun to kind of take on this challenge to balance it.
Yeah, like it's easy to say yes to it, but it might not
Yeah.
be easy to actually, get things going, but it's always worth it. And that's very true. It's all about the time commitment and the time balancing, definitely for sure. And so I feel like people don't really talk about how much work it is being a student and an entrepreneur. Like going to school 7 hours a day. I mean, half the people that are adults doing these businesses, they don't have anything else other than doing the business that they're doing. So they have all day to go and mail out packages and do all of that. But you only have like what, 3 or 4 hours after school,
Yeah.
that to a bunch of clubs and homework. And so it's really impressive doing what you're doing and that too, starting from such a young age. I guess going back throughout these last 5-ish years, is it 5? Yeah, probably 5-ish. What would you do differently? Like if you were to go back and change anything? You probably wouldn't, but if there was one thing you could change.
Hmm. I think definitely like yeah, I wouldn't change it in a way that like it's been like it's got me to where I am right now. But if I had to change one thing, maybe like I think just like probably like early on like marketing kind of thing. I think something that's really important is, word of mouth marketing too. So that's something that I've always done like, in school I can go around like very like go up to someone and say blah blah blah, but I think social media marketing maybe from like our very early on levels. We're also in the seventh grade, so I don't think we really use marketing too much, but I think it would have been interesting to see like, what effect that would have or like kind of studying like pre TikTok and like Instagram kind of things like different ways to market in a way I guess or just yeah I think that would just be something cool to add on like see how it would have been now I guess.
Oh wait, that is so true. I realized that TikTok was barely even a thing back then. And even then it
Yeah.
was like only dancing. I don't think people actually
Yeah.
explored things till COVID started. And then people started doing like art on there and promoting businesses. I think only after COVID was when TikTok became what it is now. So that is
Yeah. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
like no, yeah, just seeing like other ways. It is weird to think like TikTok wasn't that big before, like thinking of ways like to do that before, which yeah, have you seen that one girl? I don't know what her business is called, but like she always shows like how her jewelry is so waterproof. So like she shows herself like putting it wet and everything, or like she always has like weird
Yeah.
trends and stuff. So I wonder if something like that would have worked on musically, but like I guess it depends with the times, like studying the changing of times and everything and how it'll evolve.
Yeah, no, that's super true. I think that that's a good point. And I think there's not really much that you could go back and do differently, but that would
Yeah.
be super cool to think about, like on a marketing standpoint. I mean, that's probably
Yeah.
Rania's job, but like that's so interesting to think about how much things have changed since then. I mean, we think like pre-COVID, I feel like for me it feels like it was maybe 2 years ago, but to think that it was 5 years ago is just so weird. Like that was a whole different time. That was half a decade
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, like it feels like it was literally like just 2 years ago, like you said, but also like I also can't even really remember what my life was really like before COVID. Like it's changed so much, which is so crazy.
Yeah, and everything like related to business too has changed so much since
Yeah.
then. Obviously, we were so little that we don't even really know those changes, but I think if we look back and think about the smaller things, like we brought up TikTok now, right? That's something that we probably didn't think about, but now
Mhm.
that you actually go and talk about it, then you realize, oh wait, I can actually see those changes even if I was a little kid during that time, like even if I wasn't
Yeah.
on. even if I didn't invest in stocks or something. Like you can still see those changes.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like the whole business world, everything has changed from COVID. Even thinking about like, like working from home, virtual, everything like that, like the whole thing has shifted. And I think even like online e-commerce business, things like that have also probably like very like much thrived during COVID too, which is something to take in mind, I guess.
Yeah, I bet Etsy probably helped you a lot. And how did you discover Etsy? Did you see other businesses doing it and that's how you got inspiration?
I think it might have been my older sister who she was talking about Etsy. They do have one of the things that actually I just remembered, they charge you fees to list it. So originally when we had our stickers, we would charge 99 cents. So and it would be like 2.99 to like list something, to list a sticker. And we'd be like, well, we're not even making money, we're losing money from that. So it's kind of interesting. That's kind of something that also like, you have to take advantage of like the pros and cons of something like, okay, like I'm getting a huge audience from here, but I'm also having to waste a lot on these like fees on each transaction on top of listing them. Like there's like a million different types of fees. So like just taking and like finding the best balance of that, which is like what we're trying to do right now, like seeing what will help us the most in both ways.
I think what you could do is combine. So I'm not sure how much one sticker costs, but however many stickers might cost, like say you have a package of 10 stickers and that'll be like $5, then you're making some sort of profit. Obviously, you might have to do a little bit more than that to get more profit,
Yeah,
but just like finding that sweet spot of how much money you can make given the transaction by like making a combination of stickers and maybe selling them as packs could probably
yeah.
help. I mean, I know you're expanding to clothing and hats, and that probably will not be an issue when it comes to making money because stickers are way cheaper, but it would be something interesting to look into.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think that's a great idea. It's something like we're trying to consider right now.
Yeah, and so what are your next steps, I guess, as a founder, with this time that you're using to revamp your business?
Yes, so we're still discussing ways to like still brainstorming kind of in that phase. So we're thinking of like how we can before we like, dive back, how we can kind of set up a schedule, a way to make it, a smooth process and maybe even like marketing like before it drops. Thinking of all those things, like kind of pre-lining it up so that it makes the process easier. We are like trying to get in contact with vendors. We're in the process of that. So just kind of like waiting for the actual like tangible materials and things like that. But we're excited to launch soon.
Yeah, that's gonna be super exciting to see, and I'm really, really excited. Well, that's pretty much all the questions that I had for you. I had so much fun getting to learn more about 17 degrees. I love the name, by the way. I think that's so
Thank you
cool.
so much.
That every single person was born on the 17th. But
Yeah.
I really love your message and just how much I've learned seeing people like you have been doing this for 5 years and seeing that difference. That too as a student. Super impressive, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today about it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.